Hi kids. Okay, so the first ever Academy Awards. Before I get into that, get into a quick background of how the Academy comes to be. It's mostly the brainchild of Louis B. Mayer, film producer, MGM. Um, the decision was made to form a group that could represent the five different branches of film, five at the time, settle disputes between them, and kind of control the image of film and of Hollywood. So the Academy was put together. Originally, it was just going to be a yearly banquet, celebrate each other, boost morale, that type of thing. And then the idea for awards was brought up. So they decided to do an awards ceremony every year. There was originally 36 members of the Academy. Um, there were producers, directors, actors, lawyers. So the Warner Brothers, Louis B. Mayer, Cecil B. DeMille, actors like people I've mentioned in the War series, Mary Pickford, her husband at the time, Douglas Fairbanks, Harold Lloyd. You don't know who Harold Lloyd is. He's kind of the American version of Charlie Chaplin, silent film actor. Combination of Chaplin and Buster Keaton, sort of. Back to the Future fans. He's the guy hanging from the clock in Doc Brown's house. All his clocks. Later, it's Doc Brown hanging from the clock, right? But that's a recreation from a Harold Lloyd film. Harold Lloyd. Anyways, so First Academy Awards. First Academy Awards ceremony was held on May 16th, 1929 in the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, hosted by Douglas Fairbanks. The ceremony, they handed out 12 awards and it lasted 15 minutes. The efficiency of youth. Part of the reason it was only 15 minutes for those 12 awards is that the winners were announced 3 months prior. So at the banquet, they just had to come up and collect their awards. That was pretty much it. As I go through these, I'm not going to go through every single award and all of the nominees and who won. I'll just highlight specific, what I think are important things, and go over the number of nominees, because for quite a lot of time, there isn't a set number of nominees that can be nominated for these awards. It fluctuates, right? And then they eventually get to, it'll be a certain number, and then that number changes, and it changes again. The Academy is always changes. Recent changes are not new. Okay, so there was 2 awards for film. There's Outstanding Picture and Best and Unique Artistic Picture. So I mentioned this, I believe, in the Wings video, because Wings wins the Outstanding Picture Award. There were 7 nominees for that category. So the Academy at the time decided that they didn't want to say that an art film was better than your popcorn or your fanfare, your popular movie. They didn't want to say one version of film is better than the other, so they decided that they would just recognize both. So Wings wins. Wings was a big success. Talked about that in my Wings video. If you didn't watch it, go watch that. Best and Unique Artistic Picture was Sunrise. I talked about that a little bit in my Nosferatu video. If you didn't watch that, go watch that. It all fits together. Sunrise, directed by F.W. Murnau, the director of Nosferatu. So those were the 2 big pictures. The following year, we'll go into that, they decide to get rid of the artistic picture and just focus on the outstanding production. So if you look at lists of Best Picture winners, it starts with Wings. It doesn't mention Sunrise. That's all right for Sunrise because it's on the AFI list, 100 Greatest Films. Okay, and then there is two different categories for their directing. There was 3 nominees for directing comedy, and there was 3 nominees for directing drama. Then there's 3 nominees for actress and actor. And at the time, they could be not recognized for an individual film. It was sort of an actor or actress's body of work that year they would win for, not for just one single performance. So there's that. That's another thing that fluctuates and changes as we go through these. There is Best Writing, Original Screenplay, and Adapted. So those two are separate. Later we'll see they're merged, and then they'll be separated again. Academy's always changing. There's award for Best Art Directing, and there's an award for Cinematography. There's also an award for Engineering Effects and Title Writing. Title writing is because this is 1929. Most films at the time are silent. Jazz Singer comes out in 27? So a lot of films have the titles, the inserts of what the dialogue is, what's going on, who's saying what. So there was an award for Best Title Writing because that was important. And then there were some honorary awards. Charlie Chaplin was nominated in various different categories, but he didn't win. So to recognize Chaplin for producing and directing and starring and all the things that Chaplin did, he just got an honorary award for being Charlie Chaplin. And then there was also an honorary award that was presented to the Jazz Singer for the achievement in sound. The most nominees to this ceremony was Seventh Heaven, which got 5 nominations. Not too bad out of these 12 categories. And the most wins was 3. Seventh Heaven and Wings and Sunrise, I think, all won 3 awards. Is that right? I should have made sure that was right, shouldn't I? Anyways, that's the first ever Academy Awards. Hit like, hit subscribe, tell all your friends, and I'll see you next time with the second one and some more changes.